Hello. Today, we're gonna start working on making some stream content. We're gonna start that by, hopping into VS Code, starting up a new Next.js instance, and building out some maybe some layout type stuff. I don't know. We're kind of winging it here, to be honest. Let me turn on the music a bit. That's about right. Alright, let's go to the code. Mention that. Look at that. Brand new VS Code instance. This is exciting. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to, maybe open the folder I just created. That way it's a little bit easier to get to or look at. Projects. Here, client stream. It's a brand new website. Well, not website per se, but it's a domain I own. I'm creating the the project under the folder name, basically. I always set up my project so that it's the web URL I'm putting it under, and then the client is basically whatever the subdomain is for the most part. So I'm gonna have this hosted at stream.bulmer.dev is the idea here. And what I'm gonna do is now just basically set up a Next.js instance with yarn create next app. Let's see. While this is working on it, let me go over here. What's going on? Not much going on now, is there? Right. We're gonna call this, actually, whoops, I messed that up a bit. I want to do a little dot. Say that I'm setting up in the current directory rather than creating a new one. I don't want to do that, that's a mess. Name is a core module name? Oh, that would make sense. Let's call it live then. Why not? We'll move this folder. Right. Oh, move. Help if I remember what I wrote. There we go. CD into live now. And that means I do actually need to go back, close this folder. Open folder. Projects. Here. Alright. This and this. Okay. Go. Close the Copilot, because Copilot's great and all, but it doesn't do nearly what I want it to. It's not that great, to be honest. Well, it's good if you know how to use it correctly. But if you're using it to primarily do coding stuff for you, it's not that great. It's a Copilot, not a pilot. So that's how I look at it. Yep, we want it in TypeScript with ESLint, CS. I love Tailwind. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Sure. Of course. I do have a little. I'm using a website to help me set up the canvas element in React before React became a thing way back when, 10 years ago, or before it became popular, let's say. I did everything in HTML canvases, but I haven't really touched them in about a decade, to be honest. And my plan here is to basically update my stream start here, right? The background's kind of bland, right? Turn off my camera and you'll see there's nothing. The idea is to kind of have it galaxy-like, have it kind of space-themed. I'm going to do that through the HTML canvas and creating little stars that kind of flash in and out. We'll see how it goes. Right. And so let's go back to the code. We're almost done installing here. We've set that up. Now, well, come on. Give me my cursor, thank you. Let's go and just do yarn dev. Get this up and running. It's starting up. It's now here. I don't want it on that one. I want it up, way up. want it in this browser. That way I can kind of show what I'm doing. Move this up here. Browser. Look at that. We got it up and running. Let's now that you see that it's running, let's go over here back to the code. Let's start setting this up, because I really don't like the way that Next.js sets up their repository. They want you to basically build all your components inside the app directory, and I'm really not a fan of that. So what I typically do is I create a components directory. Don't worry, I can spell components. There we go. I don't care for the Vercel logo. Get rid of that. We will be updating this a little bit here later. Actually, let's just remove all of this background. I know that there's some library somewhere to do this, but right now, let's just completely remove it. We don't care for whatever styling nonsense they want. I might even move that out of the app direct. I'll leave it there, actually. No, I keep going back and forth on it, but in my head, we'll leave it. Why not? Let's do, what kind of text do we want? Again, I don't want the Geist. Is that how you pronounce that font? I'm more of like a Robotos Lab kind of guy. Yeah, there we go. Do they have a Roboto Mono? They do. Let's do those two, right? Let's set these up. Yes. Yes. This will be, let's call this, can I spell my own name? Belinda's Chaos. Live stream abilities? I don't know. Let's just call it that and call the description what it is, which is my not personal website, but stream utilities is what I want it to be. And tooling. Let's call it that, because that's what it is. Let's now do Roboto Sans, Roboto Mono, save and save. Go. All right. Let's go back. I'll show you with the browser. Browser's kind of live, updating live for me, which is nice. First thing I want to do is create a brand new page inside the code. So let's go in here. Let's create a new folder. Let's call this backdrop, maybe. Again, I can spell. I promise. File with a page.tsx. I'm just gonna copy paste what they have in here. Oop, not the layout. I don't want to update that per se. There's this. I know they do everything in the layout type thing with the metadata. I think you can do that in the client, or like the page here. Yep, there we go. There's that. All right, I think we're in a good space here. Let's do. Oh, there's a way to do this. I guess we can quickly look at the Next.js docs. What I want to do here, let me move this down to my other monitor. It doesn't change for you, but it changes it for me. I can't really see because of the light behind me. It's bright, and it reflects off my monitors terribly. I need to get curtains, like blackout curtains or something, but not in the budget right now. Let's see, what am I looking for? I was looking for metadata. Metadata and OG images, that's what I'm looking for. So there's a couple ways you can do this. Obviously you can do it in the layout like so, but I thought you could also do it in the page.tsx. It looks like you can if it's a generate metadata function, which means it's server-side rendered, and I don't think we want that. Although I guess it can be server side. I don't think it matters that much. It's kind of annoying that you can't just, you know, do the static metadata like this. You can only do it on the layout page, I think. Well, it says page. You can do it in the page.ts. Well, JS, but I use TSX. We can try. Let's see. Bring back to the code. Let's call it the stream backdrop. Let's go back to the website. I want to quickly try to load that page, see what's going on. As far as it has my cloud icon, I guess I removed the favicon, so it's just defaulting to whatever it wants, right? Code. Let's get rid of the disgusting, you know, for sale logo and stuff. I guess it's not disgusting, that's rude. Let's actually clear out everything in here. We don't need any of this. What I want to do, I want to start out with this. Font sans should really be, you know, there's no need for this to be there. We'll also clean this out too, I guess, while we're at it. Let's create like an H1 tag, I guess, and save that. No, we just did this. Browser. Dick. That's all that matters at the moment right now with that, and then we'll come back and create some pretty layouts and stuff later. But for right now, you know, that's the home page, this is the backdrop. Let's go back to the code. Let's update this. We don't need that image tag anymore because we don't images at the moment. Save this, remove that image tag, right? We can remove all of this basically because what we want to do is create a component actually. Let's go and start creating a new canvas. TSX. I'm gonna export default function canvas. Perfect. We're actually going to send a canvas element. And the first thing we want to do is actually create a reference using reference, but not reducer, reference. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Copilot. You're helping out a little bit here. I don't think we need to set anything else there. There's a couple things I do want to do here. Is I want the canvas to fit the entire width and height of it. So let's go into how we would do that. I do actually have a website I was going to reference. Let me pull it up so I can kind of show what I'm doing. It's been again, I don't necessarily know how to set up a canvas in React. React does things kind of very differently to like a normal HTML page. Well, not completely differently, but different enough that you have to set up that reference that I did in the code in order for it to manipulate the canvas context. Because if you don't do that, you can't actually reach the context, and it gets really messy. So I did do some pre-research, just so that we're not spending the entire stream doing research. If I go to the browser, I have a new tab here. This is the Medium article I'm using at the moment to set this up. I'm doing things already different than him. He did like a Create React app, and everyone who does web development knows that Create React app is not the way to go. It's kind of buggy sometimes, and dealing with a router is pain. And stuff like that. So I'm actually go away. I do want to set this up in a way that, like, obviously we have the canvas reference. I have that. I'm gonna go further because I know they further explain it a bit better. Like, I don't want to draw yet, but I do want to set up those use effects. So let's go back to the code. Is each tab? You can't see this per se because I'm not sharing my whole entire window, but it's quite weird that I can have both of these two tabs here in my like alt tab with Windows. I don't typically use Edge as my browser. I'm only using it here because it doesn't have any of my like personal information in it. You know, can't do that. No. Let's see now. There's a lot of windows open. Go back to the code. All right. I captured that use effect. So let's go and import that real quick. Call this reference instead of canvas reference because there's only one reference here. There's no need for this nonsense. What are we doing? Oh, because it could be null. This is true. To just bypass this, I guess what we can do is just say if canvas is not null, or if canvas, because that is a falsy check, and if it's not falsy, then it allows it through. What? I thought null was falsy. I thought this would fix the TypeScript stuff. Oh, is it because the context itself can also be null? Got it. All right, let's see now. Maybe what I do is instead of doing canvas, we do that. We do a little question mark. That fixes that. Now we do if context. Remove that. There we go. We want to fill the entire thing from 0, 0 to the height and width of the canvas. What else do they do with the canvas besides... Oh, I guess they have props. How do I... Oh, I'm not sharing that screen. It's fine. I want to quickly do some Googling while you stare at code, I guess. So I want the canvas to always fill the width and height of the screen. I want to quickly Google how to do that real quick because Stack Overflow is your best friend. I guess I also have Copilot I could use too, but okay, I think I get it. This is what they were doing in their use effect, I guess. That got it to work. We will see if it does. Oh, I guess it's only if canvas, let's see. And then let's now go to the website. See what's going on now. Browser, and I'm not seeing anything. Let's do some bugging here. Script, style. Oh, you know why? I haven't actually added the canvas to the page. Just being a little dodo, you know? I do have the class names there. I don't know if that matters. I don't think the styling matters there if I add it to the canvas itself with full and with height. With tailwind. Let's go into the backdrop and let's Not a canvas. Getting error on the web page already. Let's quickly fix that over here by doing a client. All right, so we're getting something. It's not what I want, but it is something. This is what it looks like right now. If we go in here, we see the canvas element. The canvas is doing full width and full height, but I think that's because this div class itself is not going the entire height and width of the page. So what we can do, like, you don't need my face cam. Also, I'm dark all of a sudden, but, or that's just me. I don't know. I don't have enough lighting. The back lighting is way too much, and I gotta fix that at some point. In this layout, we obviously have this going on. We want the page to be flex column. That makes everything so much easier. Min height is screen. After that, or whatever. Mobile is trying to get me to do. But to do that, go back to the browser. The browser now says that the body itself is now the full page. What we can now do is go back to the code. So we have in the page here, we have this div. I think we can just that. We just want the canvas really. And then go into the canvas context. Let's do class name at least. This will be. We do it properly. I guess we can do proper stuff. Export to interface, canvas props, class name. Thanks. Let's do that. Now, if we have class name, then we do this. This is what they want me to do, but I'm more of a guy who likes to create a new folder, call it utils, and I want to quickly grab a code snippet. I've basically taken what Tailwind CSS does by default, but I've kind of altered it into my own way. Let me quickly fetch that on GitHub on one of the repos I use or have, but I'm not sharing it because it's a private repo, and yeah. That's all I gotta say is yeah. Or portal. Go in here, go to the util. I'll be back to the code in 2 seconds. I am still last name. Copy. Super simple script. This is what it looks like. Come back to the code. That's all it is, right? You have a class names function that pulls in an array of any number of strings, booleans, or undefined, and then basically we filter out anything that's falsy. So undefined and false from the boolean are both falsy, and so those get filtered out immediately. And then we have a join with a space. So whatever's left is going to be a string, and that string is now being concatenated with a space, which is very, very helpful. So if we come in here, instead of doing what Copilot wants us to do, let's do class names from the function call there that I did. Remove this because we don't need it. And there we go. All right. That means that class name will override anything else in here, basically, because it's later on in the string. And now let's go back to the backdrop. Let's now do class name, and we will do, or I get rid of lexical row and just do. Now if we go back to the website, go back to the browser, you'll see here that this HTML canvas now takes up the entire screen. And I think it's being automatically updated, or no? No, the width and height are not being automatically updated, which does mean that we need some sort of observer on the element so that we can constantly update these. That'll allow us later on, because how the canvas works is that if we don't update the width and height, we're basically taking the original aspect ratio of when the page loaded and trying to shrink it or stretch it, and it's actually going to stretch or shrink the pixels. And we don't really want that. We want the pixels to stay the same no matter how the page is manipulated. That makes sense. All right. Now how do I do this? Okay, let's go back to the code. Let's go to this backdrop page, just so that I don't get mistaken later. And then go here, call this home page. That allows you just do what I want. Oh, this does work. I see that in the browser. I wasn't paying attention, but this did get changed with the static metadata. All right, let's do some fun now. How do I want to do this? Thinking. What I should do there has to be a nice way to do this. What I want to do is have a function that's being called from the parent. The parent basically can hook into a function. I can do that through like the props here that just says on draw, let's say, right? And you pass it the function. And so every time that I'm redrawing the page, I can then trying to think of like some game dev techniques. I'm not a game developer. I'm a full-time software engineer doing Java backend stuff basically, but I have dabbled in game creation in the past. Again, this is about a decade ago, maybe longer. And the way you have to like get the FPS of the screen when you're working with the HTML canvas. And that allows you to basically keep your animation constant no matter whether or not the frames per second that are being rendered is faster or slower. Like if you're running at 120 frames per second and your animation's designed for like 60 frames per second, you can do some math in there to like slow down the frames per second to when the animation should be. I'm thinking about doing that type of thing here so I can animate using the HTML canvas, but it's been a long time since I've done that. So, and I've done zero research into how to do that at the moment. Like I didn't do any pre-research, I should say. But I guess we can go back to that website, see what they have going on, because they might have already done this. All I really wanted from it was to do the use effect thing here. I could do that, or I can just show why everything else I just explained was important. Maybe I can do that. I can showcase why things are important. So let's do a nice for loop, you know. Actually, let's do it this way, since I just created that onDraw function. Here we go. A nuisance. All right. Let's go into here. We have our onDraw. Sorry, I'm checking a couple of things. See what's going on. Nothing. All right. We have obviously our onDraw with a context coming in. I like to just use CTX for short. And what we can do here is we have a for loop. Let's do, or actually let's do constant number of stars. We're trying to make a galaxy, remember. And let's do a math.random between, let's do times. I know there's a way to do this. We want, obviously, no, it's not doing that. Let's do times 500. So what we want to do here is we want the random modifier to be between 0 and 500. That's how you do this. We also want this to be math.ceil because we want, whatever that was. feeling. There we go. So that way it's a number between 1 and 500 rather than 0 to 499. Although it might go up to 500. I don't remember exactly. Go away, Copilot. I don't care for you. And then we're gonna start it at 1,000 because I want a minimum of 1,000 stars plus any number between 1 and 500. I believe that this will work. So we do that. Now we do a for loop. And we will now start drawing, you know, some XY coordinates. There must be... And Copilot knows what I want. This is randomizing it the XY coordinates anywhere within the canvas height and width, as well as creating the radius anywhere between 1 and 3. Create the path, create the arc. I don't know where I did an arc. I thought. Oh, sure. That should work. I think. Not pass. It is a climb. I have to do this? No, because that's when the metadata becomes an issue. Alright, let's just do this for right now. Oh, wow. Alright. It's working. This is what it looks like. And now I'm going to demonstrate what I meant by like stretching or shrinking the stars. So we've created the stars. We have however many stars we decided to generate here. Let me actually do a console log just so it tells us. There it goes. We just drew 1,222 stars, and you can see they're all different colors and stuff. Now here's the thing: if we stretch it, oh, it allows you to scroll now. Okay, I'm like, so expanding it obviously makes it blurrier because it's the canvas size is smaller, but then when you shrink it, you can see that it's shrunken the stars. This is what I want to avoid, if at all possible. I know there's a lot of people who have already solved this. Maybe I can just have Copilot do it for me, even though I don't do, but alright. Create a render loop for the canvas to redraw. On each render, resize the canvas. I can spell canvas width and height to, you know, whichever to the DOM element, width and height when necessary. Interesting. Will that work? We'll see. I'll accept it. Obviously this is not going to work back here, so let's comment that out. Is this using the onDraw function? It is. So let's see. Go back. Oh, I didn't show you anything. I just did I? Classic. Right. All right. So basically, I just had Copilot create me this render function right here. What it's doing is it's saying if there's no canvas or context, and return, and then otherwise set the width and height to the offset width and height of the canvas. This is like the actual width and height of it. And then if, you know, the width doesn't equal width or height doesn't equal height, then it updates it. And then we'd still do the, you know, clear and redraw. I mean, I don't think this is really clearing it per se. We're actually redrawing the entire thing to be black. And then we draw the stars back on afterwards. If we go back to the code, or to the browser, hit refresh. That's wild. That's how you make a static screen, guys. I was not thinking about that. Yeah, let me get off that so you guys don't have to suffer. I have to put like an epilepsy warning now on that. That's wild. All right, let's think here. Obviously that's working. Oops, sorry for hitting my mic. And it's also not resizing. Ew. A lot of things wrong here. Let's really trying to think now. Let's only render it once. Refresh. Oh, I think I might have killed it. There we go. All right. We go back. This is what it now looks like, which is kind of what I wanted, except I want the stars to, you know, get brighter and get less bright. So maybe what I'll do is on the code, or in the code, maybe we generate the stars once. That way when it re-renders the exact same stars and placements. And maybe how we can do this, let's actually update this in here. Let's do constant stars. This is a TypeScript, of course, so you have to specify it. Maybe we can actually create the TypeScript up here. Interface star is this. We have the X, which is a number. Oops. Y number, radius is number. Yes. That's all I need? That's all I need. Alright, now when we have this, let's just do stars that push that. And then we... then what we do is we actually create a memo here. Constant stars will equal use memo. Making sure I'm actually sharing my screen. Sometimes I don't do that. Sure. Oh, but we don't have the canvas width and height to really know. What we can just do is we take the Windows width and height, because this is already a used client anyway. I think we can access that. Window dot inner width. That's what I want. Inner height. I think that'll do what I want. We'll still keep the radius in this range of like between 1 and 3 pixels. Even though they don't really look like that, do they? I guess it's the radius, right? So maybe we actually want it between 1 and 2 pixels. But this doesn't give as much variation. I don't know. We'll hit save on that. That gives us our stars now. Now in our draw function, when we actually can draw, we will do... We don't need this because that's already being done. Stars for each star, begin path, do this, fill, correct. We come back over here, let's actually re-enable our render animation frame thing. And now if we go back to the code, or the browser, we can see that it's actually doing this. There is one issue though, that window is not defined, but obviously it's working because yes. So maybe we can go back to the code, quickly fix that issue by doing a we put window in here, and then we just say if window. It does technically render on the server first, which is kind of annoying. Do that, and then otherwise return an empty array. Nice. But it's because Window's always there. Unnecessary dependency window, whether exclude or whatever. All right, let's see. If I did inner width and height, they also say that's also unnecessary. I say you're dumb. Because I think that actually is necessary, right? Ooh. Go back to the browser. I just realized that I'm making it a bit too. Alright. Can't see my OBS. I messed around and I'm about to find out. That's how the saying goes. Alright, now we obviously have the star background. This is doing great. And actually, maybe we can even see this on this thing. Let me make myself smaller a little bit. I did prep for this. And let's also, I did not prep for this. Let's create a browser capture. Where is that? There it is, browser. Let's call this backdrop. Create new. Probably seeing some fun stuff now. Localhost port 3000 / backdrop. The width and height will be, oh, what is it, 1920 by 1080? Is that how this works? And sure, hit okay. That's exactly what I want, but I don't want it on top of everything. So let's put that at the bottom. Nice. We're getting somewhere. Although it does show something in there. I don't know what that error is because I don't have that on my side. Can I interact with this? How do I know I did it before. Hit refresh. Settings? How do you interact with it? Full audio? No. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's the interact button. Alright, what's this? What's this issue? That's tiny for me. Probably big for you guys, but it's tiny for me. Oh, it's the whole window thing again. Alright, okay. Well, I can fix that. Let's go back to the code. Right? So what am I looking at? Oh. I was so confused for a second there. All right, let's remove all this because obviously it's complaining. So here's that. Go back here. It's no longer complaining. If I hit refresh, it still has an error. It's still saying what's the error it's saying? Windows not defined. I don't care. You know, I really don't care. So, well, let's just refresh that because that's what you care about. Go back to the code. All right, now what we want to do, now that we have our stars and we have the radius, we have a starting radius, I should say. We now want it to, in that render window, we want it to grow and shrink. Maybe by like a couple pixels, let's say. Let's see. What do I want to do? We go to metadata because it's not going to work. I have to put that into a... actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's create a new layout. X. We take this as like a thing. This is now going to be a root layout. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Oh, not all that. What's this? Thank you. All this backdrop. Yeah, we keep the same description. I don't care. Actually, I think if I just remove it, same description as before. Let's see. We don't need any of that because it can just be simple. I should just have return children. All it needs to do. All I want it to do is change this, because if I go now back to the browser, we do an inspect. We then look at not styles. I don't care about styles. How do I? Oh. This and this and that. And then we go up here and we can see that obviously the title got changed and the description's the same thing as the like homepage layout description. So we only overrid the title here, which is fine. That's all I want really. I don't know why it's doing this. So I did re-enable the render with the like resize thing, but maybe I'm just dumb. I'm probably just dumb. Remove that. Save. I guess you're right, I don't need that. I don't know why it still thinks that it's trying to do stuff with the window when it shouldn't be, but... Let's see. I'll do another quick Google search. This is one of the kind of annoying parts about React development, is that you can't use the window object directly because, you know, it's a virtual DOM, so it's not the actual React like HTML DOM. Makes it quite hard to actually get direct access to it. One of its flaws, I guess you can call it. Oh, is that all they did? Alright. Go back to the code. This is what people are saying to do, or what Stack Overflow says. If I do that, no, it's not doing anything, as you can see. So, actually, sorry, that was quick. You see, it's throwing errors. Window inner width is not usable. Even though it's because Windows never. Oh, whoops. Not equal. That's what I wanted this entire time. Perfect. Every time I refresh, it doesn't error out. Nice. All right, we've gotten somewhere. We fixed our errors. Errors are gone. Next. we go into, let's call it the canvas, because obviously we have our animation frame ID. Obviously a number. If there's a number, then it is a thing. Trying to think what to do now. So obviously this is not working. So if I shrink the browser, right? We do this. We just shrunk this down. Oh wait, maybe it is work. No, when you expand it back out, it only works when you shrink it. When you expand it again, it just doesn't work. I'm not sure why. Let's see now. Sorry, I was looking at my YouTube stream stuff. It's saying that there's multiple, what do you call it? Streams going, or multiple, like, audio outputs, but, like, I thought I only set it to one, to be honest. It's fine. It'll be fine. Maybe. I'll find out later. All right, let's get back to the code. Now let's think here. Maybe instead of doing it off of the canvas element, we want this to be done via the window. Yes, that's what I want. Because what I want here, instead of canvas, we want to do window inner width, height. We do this. That fix what I want. Oops. Here's the browser. Does that fix this? It does indeed fix it, but I'm now running into an issue in which when I first generated the stars, it was basing it off of a smaller width than it is now. That's because we're using inner width. I bet you we did out. Like, is there an outer width that we can use instead? There is an outer width. Let's try that. And then if I close that, it does work. That's exactly what I want. All right. That's going to take the maximum width of the browser window, while inner width does the, innermost. All right, so we're getting somewhere. Now, how do I know what the animation frame is? Is that constantly? It's been a while, so I want to quickly look at my. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Where's the console? There we go. What I'd like to do, I don't know what this is doing. Why it's doing that. Next.js probably is doing something dumb. But let's see now. Can I quickly go into here? Or into the canvas. I want to know what the animation frame number is, you know? Console.log. Frame is that. Brush. It does increment. Okay. Again, I'm not showing my code. What I just did is basically add this log statement. Alright, so now that I know that it's doing this, let me do a fun little Google search of canvas animation frame, create animation independent of frame rate. It's been a long time since I've done something. Oh wait, necessary only. I'm gonna have some like easy approach. Here's your animate function thing. Position, whatever. Give you delta X what you your target where it's gonna go. Interesting. Huh. Let's see what we can do. Sorry for the oh, sorry for breathing in the mic. I heard that through my thing. Sorry for taking so long on that. I was really trying to think there. There's gonna be a lot of me thinking at the moment because this is stuff I have not done in quite a while. So basically what I'm seeing basically is we have a render function. We know we want to run that. We want to have that like something going really. The render calls itself, right? So the render is basically the same thing as their animate function. The difference is that we have this to like basically manage the React nonsense. We then update the window when necessary, and then yeah, do all that. We have a clear and redraw right here, and then we can get into Well, we probably actually want right away the all of these things that they have specified, like FPF interval, start time, now, then, elapsed, whatever, you know. We call this frame instead. Oops. Okay. When we start animating here, because it's called right away, we can do they're doing all this. I'll just take what they have, you know. I think all of these are numbers. I guess our design, we would probably want our like FPS to be constant, right? And that, and we just make that 60. Or do we have to do that in all of them? Okay, apparently then is also a constant. Let's never recall again. I think it's saying that because I haven't actually done this part yet. I do this, and then we do. Why does it be? Why are they requesting the animation frame before? It's interesting. Maybe I don't know. Then this is our draw code there. I don't know. Just quickly looking at some stuff. This is really taking all my brain power today, I guess. Probably kind of boring at the watch at the moment. I should have done this animation frame thing beforehand, but I figured we could do it together. And I'm quickly realizing that that may not be the smartest idea, I guess. I don't know. So, what I'm referencing now, if I go back to the browser, let's bring that browser down to somewhere where I can actually see it kind of nicely. My face is a little bit in the way of like the thing, but they're basically just saying that like elapsed time at 5 frames per second, kind of showing that the seconds is counting up in, you know, a fifth of a second, so 0.2 seconds every time. So they're doing some throttling stuff basically here. What I might do is grab basically this stuff here. I'll rename it afterwards, but I'm a bit too brain dumb at the moment to realize what's going on. Go back to the code. And I want to keep that return. We have that render there. Have that there. I want to just do this for a second. We don't need the stop because the stop's being done already. We have the request animation frame. Now is new time. That frame request kind of like there. Not where I wanted to go, but that callback function, does that accept a thing? I want to know the callback. The callback accepts. Okay, it accepts a timestamp, I think. Okay. So that's why it's new time. Got it. Time is a timestamp, which is a number. There's that. We then have this. Animate is going to be an optional number. We have FPS, which is going to be a number. So we have that. We don't care that much about it. I mean, current FPS, obviously we care a little bit. We don't care about that though. Maybe we can just console log the FPS. Right. What do you hate? I see. Fix all, no var. There we go. It's a number. Oh, what? I figured it would have done, you know, prefer constant there. Frame count will be, oops. Frame. There's that. Cool. Now. We gotta fix the now thing now. Let's see. I wish I could see more of this. Let's actually minimize that a little bit. A little too much going on for me. We obviously know that we don't care about that at all. We do want to return this on the use effect because this will cancel our animation frame, that we don't have to deal with the stop thing that the other like examples were showing. We have a render function. This is what I want the animate function to do, right? We have the request animation frame, which is doing there, and then we do this and this. But away. Do that, right? Go into here. Instead of whatever the hell's going on there, let's do this. New time comes from here as new time number. Go. We will just do a TS ignore on this for right now. It will get set. All right. What do you hate me for? Right there, sure. It will get set. If enough time has elapsed, draw the next frame, which we'll do with, you know, the on draw thing. We have obviously that, and we'll do on, or if on draw. On draw. There we go. We're animating. Alright. Although start rendering instead, or maybe start animating is fine. This should be afterwards. And this should be render. And then we can remove all that. That's not necessary. And I want the FPS to be not 5 but 60. And that means we can actually remove this. Cool. Set up variables. And yeah, you know, we're getting there. What does this look like now? Well, that's not necessarily what. Oh, maybe it's just a little bit. Huh. It's being a little wonky, to say the least, to be honest. And so let's I'll show you the browser again. It's a little flickery, just to let you know. Oh, it's actually not showing up that much for you. If I close this, it's flickery for you, not for me now. This is a rendering issue. I will take a look at that in a second, though. Like, I'll get off this, though. You don't have to look at that too much. We're getting there. It is working. Not really too sure why it's doing what it's doing, but it is actually running around 120 FPS though. So we are getting accurate current FPS counts. We are getting like basically what we want out of it. Let's see now. I might be able to fix this easily though by doing some of this. That's stars. I don't care about that. I care about this on draw though. There we go. So we're going to clear the canvas. And then on draw. There's that. All right. I may have fixed it. Does this look bad for you guys? No, it's looking sick. All right, now let's it's not flickering at all anymore. That's great. We fixed that part. That was because I think we were trying to clear it before rendering the next frame, and it was getting a little messy. That was like a race condition type, or maybe not race condition because it was happening synchronously, but an ordering issue. We have that fixed now. Let's think about how we want to do the animation. Obviously we have the animation thing working with the context there. I do want to figure out like what is the best way for us to I don't know. We've already stopped capturing the FPS. We know that's working. On draw, we have this. We need to pass something else though. Like we want it to grow and shrink over time. we know the FPS is being throttled to 60 FPS, which is the stream FPS. That's kind of why I'm doing it that way. Now, what else do we want to do here? Did that article have anything else that I could do? Alright, this is what they're drawing. What about an animation? Obviously they have an arc. I know that this is gonna basically just, you know, create a circle and fill it. Oh. How did I just look at this before? So obviously they're putting the frame, they're sending the frame count in their draw function. In their draw function, they are doing, oh, they're basically doing everything on the frame count, and they have it on a sine wave, which is why it's like easing in and out. It's a sine wave. It's kind of nice, actually. It's kind of a sick way of doing that. All right. Do I want, maybe I want to do it on sine wave too. Yeah, I mean, this is all I want, right? So if we do a, I don't know what the star means. It's been a little while. Let's do, exponential, got it, okay. It's a shortcut to math.exp. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. I did not know that. I'm learning something new today, and I've been developing in JavaScript for over a decade. But I don't do that much math with it, per se. It might have been something I knew in the past, but no. Why is the current FPS 63? I set it to 60. I don't know how to get this all of it. I've done it. Fine. I think if I refresh, I already removed the code for that, right? Code. Alright. So what they're doing is they're sending the frame count on draw. Frame is a number. Save. We go into, not the layout, we can close out of that. We don't really care about that or this. We just care about this and remove that and that. We don't care about any of that. Alright. We obviously now know the context and we know the frame that we're on is a number. So now we can do this. We have math dot, what were they doing in that? Let me go back. They're doing something cool. Arc. I mean, they were doing this. We'll frame. No, not format, frame. And this will be the radius. Start.radius times the sine of the frame times 0.005 to the exponent of 2. Let's see what that looks like. Now all the, if we go, oh, let me not show you that yet. That is a lot. 1 plus save. And then let's also, like, let's do it faster or slower? Lower. Ah, yes. So here's what it's doing. It's good, but they're all the same. I don't want them all to be the same. I want them all to be different. So what we could do is when we generate the stars, we create an offset. Is a number, again, of numbers. We can then do, let's say, I don't know why they're doing times pi. They just want math.random. That'll be its offset. That way we can do 1 plus star dot radius or frame times or plus or oh, we can do plus frame. I'm thinking. We got 1 plus math.random. And then we do frame times offset. Yeah. Oh, I didn't show you anything I did. I'm so good at this streaming thing, guys. But isn't that sick? Isn't that cool? Alright, let's close that. Now, we've been waiting for this the entire time. If we go into here, we hit refresh on that. Look at that! Look how cool that is. And they're all like changing and stuff, you know? Maybe we want the offset in the code. So obviously we're saying that the minimum radius is 1. Maybe we want the minimum radius to be even smaller, like 0.5. Right? What does that do? Go back over here, you know? Isn't that cool? Alright, I think we might have done it. We got something done today. Alright. Alright, let's think. What else do we do? The real question here. Alright, I'm just checking something here. How do I delete? Alright, let's see now. Sorry, I was getting a little bit sidetracked there. There's something I had to take care of a little bit. Alright. We have stars. I feel there's something other stuff we want to do too. Not really sure what though. So, yeah. I mean, let's call it there. Let's, we got one thing accomplished today. And, we'll find something else to do next time. But yeah, basically I'm just gonna be setting up my stream content. I'll probably host this website soon and have it ready for the next time I stream. But we're gonna be looking like this future. Well, more like this actually. Nice. Look at that. All right. Well, that's all. See you around.